Hello and welcome. My name is Gio from SwitchRPG.com. I am in front of the Maneater booth, and I'm joined here by John. John, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great.
That's great. Now, what is your affiliation with Maneater?
Well, I'm the CEO of Tripwire, and we're developing Maneater.
Now, I got to play Maneater for a little bit, and it is one of the most fun games I've played here today, and actually this whole weekend. It is really a joy to play, and you're welcome. And why don't you describe what Maneater is?
So Maneater is an open world action RPG where you play as a shark, or as we call it, a shark PG. You are going to start out as a smaller baby shark, and you're going to get to play through the game and level up, grow your shark, gain abilities we call evolutions, on a path to take revenge on the shark hunter that disfigured you as a baby.
Now, one of the narrative is one of the most creative ones I've seen in a while, just because of, we're not used to being an animal such as this, one of the apex predators, and it is truly one of the most innovative things I've seen in quite a while, and I think kind of the RPG world, we needed something like this. And why don't you also describe in terms of leveling up and upgrading, what's involved in that, and what are some of the things that, we're not dealing with experience points, we're dealing with something totally different here.
Yeah, so the sharks eat things. Yeah. And the shark needs nutrients to level up, to grow. Unlike a standard RPG where leveling up sort of increases a number or a stat, in Maneater, as you level up, your shark physically gets bigger. And as you eat different types of animals or other things in the ocean, your shark gets those capabilities to grow. And then the shark, not only can it grow within what we call a life phase, as you saw when you played earlier, you were the baby shark or the pup shark. You're growing within that life phase incrementally, and then at some point, you'll reach a new life phase. In the case that you saw, you grew to a teen. So you grew a lot bigger all at once, and then you gained special abilities or new abilities as you level up that shark. And as you grow throughout the game, you're going to be able to unlock kind of the shark skill tree. You'll have organ evolutions, which give you certain types of special abilities, maybe the ability to breathe outside of water for a little bit longer for those beach snacks. And then you also have body evolutions that allow you to tailor the type of shark that you want to be. One of the evolutions we've talked about is the bone evolution, which kind of gives you armor plating and more powerful teeth. That's really for somebody that really wants to go out there and be very action oriented. We have a more stealthy evolution that allows you to go around and suck more life out of the enemy and slow time down to be a little more tactical. So, and that's for the really kind of the more stealthy tactical gamer. So there's really ways to tailor to the shark to play the way that you want it to be.
And one of the things while I was playing is I just got lost and just kind of roaming around and eating things, and I totally forgot about what I was needing to do. The game just opened up, and I was just able to just do whatever I wanted, basically. So it seemed like it was like a Grand Theft Auto. I don't know why I got that vibe. Do you hear that a lot, where you get comparisons to other games?
We hear that a little bit, and I think some of our inspirations or some of the things that we really looked at with this game were games like Breath of the Wild or older Zelda games that were open world. You can follow the main story, or you can just strike out into the distance and go where you want. Games like some of the newer Far Cry series, where it's you can follow the main storyline, or if you want a real challenge in this game, you go out in the deep ocean, and who knows what you might find out there.
And one of the other interesting aspects of the game was the combat. The combat you described a little bit as like Souls-esque, where you need to kind of learn the enemy animations, kind of learn their skill set in order to kind of defeat some of the bigger enemies. And was that something that was always kind of planned?
Well, really, when we started out, we thought, eating things as a shark would be fun, so combat's going to naturally follow. And eating things as a shark is fun. But with the combat, when we approached it in that direction, we sort of ended up with an alligator and a shark just gnawing on each other without moving.
And how do you manage an actual combat situation? That must have been difficult.
So really, we started looking at it more almost like World War I aerial combat, or like a space shooter, like a TIE fighter.
Like a dogfight.
Like a dogfight. And then we thought back to some of our games from our youth, like, for example, Punch-Out.
Okay.
You know, where each boxer that you would fight would have a tell, and you'd dodge, and you'd counterattack. And then sprinkling a little bit of a Dark Souls, you know, seeing the animation tells and things like that. And then we came up with this punch-counterpunch cadence to the battle. With each enemy has its own tells, its own vulnerability cadence, and learning those so you can combat those enemies. If you learn those, even as a very small shark, you can go out and take on some of the biggest enemies in the game. Or if you're a more casual gamer, you can spend time exploring, finding evolutions in caves and hidden places, and consuming non-combatant wildlife or humans. And grow your shark much bigger before you take on those challenges.
Now, one of the things I'm primarily interested in is the Switch version. Yes. Now, do we have an upcoming release window for that?
We don't have a release date yet. What we're sharing right now is we're looking at later this year. And really it's about wanting to make sure that when the game comes to the Switch, that it's a great experience, that it matches everything else. It already plays really great on the Switch. We're just working on eking that last bit of performance and smoothness out of the Switch hardware so that you have a great experience on the Switch.
That's excellent. Now, is there any multiplayer or co-op element in Man?
The game is currently single-player based, single-player story-based campaign.
I can't wait for this. Echo the Dolphin? No, not Echo the Dolphin. No, Maneater coming to the Switch when it's ready. John, thank you very much for joining me.
Thank you, Gio.
Excellent.